Hello, dear students and friends. Today I'm going to discuss a very important ode written by John Keats, Ode on Melancholy. Now, this poem was written during the most productive year of Keats's career as a poet, way back in 1819. So, I'm going to take up this poem and start off with the first stanza of the poem with explanations. Now, the first stanza of the poem begins in this fashion. No, no, go not to lead, neither twist wolf's bane, tight-rooted for its poisonous wine, nor suffer thy pale forehead to be kissed by nightshade, ruby grape of Proserpine. Make not your rosary of your berries, nor let the beetle nor the death moth be your mournful psyche, nor the downy owl a partner in your sorrow's mysteries, for shade to shade will come too drowsily and drown the wakeful anguish of the soul. Now, here the poet is first of all using an allusion. When he mentions the word lead, there is the reference to the mythological river called Lead, which drinking the water of which leads a person to a state of forgetfulness. That simply means that the person who drinks the water of Lead, he forgets everything. So he's asking not to that river Lead. Even if you are really sad, absolutely do not drink from the waters of the Lead river. So Keats is asking the readers, or he is advising the addressee not to drink from that river Lead, which would make the person lose his memory. That's why he's asking not to just drink water from that river. Even if the person is feeling really very sad, he should not drink water from that river. So he says, even if you are really sad, absolutely do not drink from the waters of the Lead river, which would make you lose your memory. Then again, he talks about wolfsbane, which is a plant, very poisonous plant, which consists of poisonous wine. So he's asking, don't pull wolfsbane plants from the group in order to poison yourself or dull your pain. Then again, Keats advises not to let your weak self come into contact with a deadly nightshade plant. One more plant which is again deadly, poisonous. And also, one should not drink wine from the mythical queen of the underworld, Proserpine. Now again, Greeks' attachment, Keats' attachment to Greek mythology is apparent in this poem. He mentions the queen of the underworld, Proserpine, who was abducted by Hades and taken to the underworld. Now, one should not come into contact with a nightshade plant, or one should not drink wine from the mythical queen of the underworld, Proserpine. Again, Keats carries on by saying, don't make a rosary bead, necklace from poisonous yew berries. Again, this is again a deadly plant, and one should not make a rosary. Rosary means a kind of garland, right? So one should not make a rosary by using your berries, because it is really poisonous. And do not become obsessed with symbols of death and decay like beetles and death moths. Now these are insects like beetle and death moth are presented here as the symbols of death and decay. So even if somebody is feeling really melancholic, right, or sad, the person should not become obsessed with these symbols of death and decay, like beetles and death moths. And again, Keats advises not to join forces with the owl in order to intensify our mysterious sadness. So one should not join with the owl in order to intensify our mysterious sadness. So this is basically Keats is advising somebody who is feeling really melancholic or is under a lot of stress and sadness. So that owl is asking the person not to partner, not to make the owl his partner, to explore those mysteries of sorrow. In fact, in the whole poem, Keats is asking the person to just embrace melancholy, not to avoid it. Then doing any of the above will bring too much darkness and just numb you to your pain. Now he feels that we should not become insensitive to the pain. Rather, we should just embrace the pain, and we should just try to live with it, with this haunting sadness or melancholy, which is an integral part of our life. Now in the second stanza, Keats carries on in the same vein. He says, "But when the melancholy fit shall fall, sudden from heaven like a weeping cloud, that fosters the droop-headed flowers all, and hides the green hill in an April shroud, then glut thy sorrow on a morning rose, or on the rainbow of the salt sand wave, or on the wealth of globed peonies, or if thy mistress some rich anger shows, imprison her soft hand, and let her rave, and feed deep, deep upon her peerless eyes." Now in the second stanza, Keats carries on by saying that when a melancholy mood strikes you, when a melancholy mood really strikes you, it is just like a kind of sudden thunderstorm, right? When a sudden thunderstorm strikes, right, it leads the sky to weep. That means it forces the sky to produce rain. So just like when the mood of melancholy strikes you like a sudden thunderstorm that makes the sky weep and pounds down on the flowers, in the form of rain, and covers all the greenery with an April fog, then feed your pain by gazing upon a rose. Now, when that happens, when melancholy really strikes very hard, then the person, he should look at or gaze at a rose that blooms in the morning. So if somebody is seized by a sudden outburst of melancholy, he should try to get rid of that feeling of melancholy or sadness by gazing at a rose that blooms in the morning. Or maybe he can get relief of the sadness by looking at the rainbows over the sea, or even the peony flowers, abundance of peony flowers. He advises, or if your lover is really angry, just hold her soft hand and let her express that anger while you gaze deeply into her beautiful eyes. Or when that happens, melancholy seizes a person because his lover is really angry. Keats is advising to just simply, tenderly, just hold her hand, hold her soft hand, and allow her to express that anger. And while the beloved expresses her anger, the person should just gaze deeply into her beautiful eyes. In the third and the final stanza, Keats says, she dwells with beauty, beauty that must die, and joy whose hand is ever at his lips, bidding adieu and making pleasure nigh, turning to poison while a bee-mouse sips. I, in the fairy temple of delight, veiled melancholy has a sovereign shrine. Though seen of none save him those strenuous tongue, can burst joy's grape against the palate fine. His soul shall taste the sadness of her might, and be among her cloudy trophies hung. Now, the explanation of this, melancholy is inseparable from beauty. It cannot be separated from beauty because beauty doesn't last forever. Beauty also has to come to an end. It doesn't last forever. Then melancholy is also a part of joy, which is always holding its hand up to its mouth, ready to wish people goodbye. So melancholy can be regarded as a part of joy. It is a part of joy, which is always holding its hand up to the mouth, ready to wish people goodbye. So even joy is not something which lasts forever. Right? So melancholy is a part of joy. Just like we have joy, we also have melancholy. So it is something that we cannot get rid of. Even if we try, we cannot get rid of melancholy completely. It is a part of joy. When joy comes, along with it comes melancholy as well. It exists within pleasure. Melancholy exists within pleasure as well, which is already turning to poison even as the bee sips its nectar. Right? So it exists. Melancholy exists with pleasure, which is already turning to poison even as the bee sips its nectar. Just like a bee just sips or sucks its nectar, right? When we have pleasure, right? Melancholy also follows that pleasure. Indeed, melancholy is contained within all of life's good things. In all the good things of life, melancholy is always there. Sadness is always there, right? Like a queen dwelling, just like a queen living, right? Partially hidden within a temple. Just like a queen who hides herself within a temple. Melancholy is hidden within even the good things of life. She can only be seen by those who fully embrace joy and beauty. Only those people who completely embrace, right, joy and beauty, only those people can see melancholy, who pop the metaphorical fruit of joy into their discerning mouths. Those people who fully embrace joy and beauty, they understand the significance of melancholy and they realize that melancholy is also a part of life, just like joy and beauty are. The person who does so will taste melancholy's sad power, and his soul will be kept by her as a symbol of her inevitable victory. And the person who does it, right, embraces melancholy as well, will taste melancholy's sad power. He will definitely taste, understand, feel melancholy's sad power, and his soul will be kept by her, and the soul of that person will be kept by her melancholy as a symbol of her inevitable victory, and it will be kept by melancholy as a symbol of victory. Alright, this is the explanation of the poem. I hope you have understood my explanation. So, until the next time, goodbye.